All right. So, like I mentioned before, this is the cash flow banking system. All right. Now, I broke it down on the personal side and I broke it down on the business side so that it's a bit easier to understand um, on both ends. This is super important because most people don't do this. I guarantee that 90% of people don't do this. 99 maybe. They probably pay themselves what they would pay themselves, what IRS would deem necessary, right? But necessary is what it sounds like. Necessary. You create what is necessary, right? How do you gauge how much you pay yourself? So, I mean, there's not really a specific number. That's why they say necessary. It's not like a percentage base. I mean, you could always say the number is to pay yourself enough to be able to live your personal lifestyle. So your bills are paid. If you want to go out and spend some money, if you want to do things personally, you want to pay yourself enough to be able to do what you need to do on the personal side. Now, mind you, don't forget when you pay yourself, this 35K is you still have personal taxes that you have to account for. Do you see what I'm saying? So you do have to pay attention to that, right? So that 35K into that checking account still, you still have to pay taxes on that. So that 35K wouldn't honestly be 35K. That 35K, if we were to take, let's be honest here, let's go worst case scenario. That's like $10,000 that you got to put to the side for taxes on the personal side. So you're really left with 25,000. This is why making six figures or 100K cannot be your target. You can't live off 25,000 a year. I mean, you can, but let's really think about what 25,000 looks like. $25,000 divided by 12 months is about 2K a month, right? That's about 2K a month. Where can you live with 2K a month? I don't even not with inflation. I don't you may get a studio, maybe. But that's not including utilities. That's not including your car insurance, food, right? Would that be where the trust comes in? Yes, your trust would take care of the taxes for sure. Yes, or your foundation, yes. 1,000%. Now on the personal side, there's not much you can do on the personal side, but on the business side, yes. Right. So on the
So,
personal side, you got to be able to a tax strategist would be able to you this is then where you would have to, okay, on the personal side, how much of my house is used for business that I can write off, right? So that's why a lot of people do business in their house. Okay, well now let's say out of that 10K, every single year I use 3K for business. So then okay, that's 10K is now really 7K. Okay, well, there's so many things to offset taxes on the personal side. It's just you have to really be smart on that. Gabe, did you have a question?
yeah, so what if would it matter if you paid yourself as a W-2 or a 1099? Like if you paid yourself as a W-2 for one title and then a 1099 for another title. Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Yeah, you don't want to pay yourself 1099 period. You
Okay.
also have to think of the tax benefits of being a W-2 employee. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Mhm.
So like a 1099 doesn't get the same benefits as a W-2. You think about it. If you're trying to get a house, they prefer a W-2 employee, not a 1099. Does that make
Okay.
sense? They need to see
Mhm.
income coming in as a W-2 employee. They prefer W-2 employees. They don't prefer 1099s. You would get a better deal off of W-2.
Oh,
Does
you're
that make
saying
sense?
just keep the W-2 high so you can get the better deal. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would I would I would keep it as a W-2 across the board. Because how many times think about how many times people ask you, who do what's your occupation? Like what do you do?
Right.
Not like on the business side,
Mhm.
but like let's say you were applying for something and they were to ask, do you work? Are you an employee? Like how many times do you see that? You see that often, right?
All the time. All the time.
All the time. But they don't ask you, okay, well, are you an independent contractor? You don't ever see that really.
No.
Do you see what I'm saying? Because they don't really cater to independent contractors. They cater to W-2 employees or business owners. There is no, an independent contractor is a sole proprietor. People don't like sole proprietors. People like business owners, and then they like business owners being a W-2 employee. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Great, great, great.